Welcome to the Let's Get Blunt podcast, where we roll up something sweet and pull up a seat and get real about our healing. Today we have Kali is our guest, and she is the Persephone archetype. So if you are a Persephone, you might want to stick around because I'm sure a lot will come up that will help you navigate what you're navigating as well. And for those of you who may not know your archetype, you could take the quiz at manifestation101.com and it'll tell you your archetype. And I have something really awesome coming up where I'm going to give you pretty much your archetype Bible that will walk you through your intentions to actualization. It'll be a whole year program that I am giving away. Because that's what the universe has instructed me to do. And I always move in integrity. So it will be free digitally. If you want the actual workbook physically, you're going to order through Amazon, but I'm going to make it as price effective as possible so that you can get that while also not being in a deficit. Right. So as always, our sponsor is Golden Earth Botanics, where we feature alternative CBD and THC-based healing through tinctures and herbal remedies. We also do custom smoking rituals for you as well. Woo! That was a lot. So, Kali, introduce yourself for everyone here.
Hello, everyone. I am Kali Ashura. What am I? So we're going to say I am person of all things. I am a minister of spiritual science. I am a healer. I am a liberator. We're going to go with that for today.
I love that. I love that. So, the next time y'all see this lighter is going to be bedazzled because we can't have the lighter out here. But look, y'all, this is the mind of, a true smoker.
You get silver rhinestones and everything.
We in there. We in there. I had the plan for the future. Because I would love to monetize.
Look, I told you, send me whatever. Look, I'm going to learn. My daughter jokes with me because I don't know. So I ain't never smoked, don't know how to inhale. She be laughing at me. That right there will have me learning.
So as always, we are going to be doing a soul code reading where I'm going to go through Kali's energy. I'm going to tell her what's popping up for her. I'm going to clear out some stuff as well. I'm going to put down a link on how to become a guest on the podcast because I realized I've never been doing that. I've been posting it if you follow me, but I haven't. So I'm going to start doing that on how to be a guest on this podcast and get this free healing that I no longer offer anymore outside of my one-on-ones. So we're going to go through your energy. We're going to see what's coming up. See what's blocking you, and then align all your stuff and reshuffle the deck. You know how this goes. It's going to be a conversation, but know that there is energy work being done, so you know the drill. If you hear me, feel me, all that, it's okay. And in addition, let me know if things get uncomfortable, because sometimes it can. And I don't want that for you. Let me light the incense. The incense I use as a timer is a visual timer for me because I know they burn for an hour.
Okay.
I gotta trick my brain sometimes.
I ain't never timed the incense. See y'all and picked up. Let me just take notes.
And the big ones burn for 3 hours, the ones at the gas station. So I'll time myself working with those. I'll be like, all right, we got to do something for 3 hours. And then afterwards, I could take a break. I just, I'm calling in your people. You're probably been a lot tired and drained as well. Like, it's hard to move and navigate life because you're surrounded by people right now, like a supporting cast. You're going through a form of indoctrination, like I think, like you said, the rites of passage that you're doing. It's sort of like my 45 days of soft girl summer. It is you. The focus is on you right now. And so there's a lot of things where you're trying to like put energy into other things and they're like, sit the fuck down. Like, focus on yourself. And so they're like, eat better, meditate, do this, do that. And you're just like, but I got so many other things to do. And so you're doing all these other things that they're requesting of you and you're getting upset about yourself, about the things that you think you need to be doing that's not happening. And so Spirit is just like, you don't need to be doing those things right now. I know you think you do. But if you don't have the energy to read something, if you don't have the energy to meditate for 15 minutes, you don't have the energy for that either.
Right.
Right? And so, and until you can replenish yourself, it's this season of replenishing. Because come September I don't know what September is for us healers, but we're gonna be put to work. We're gonna be put to work. There's gonna be a lot of healing going on with September forward, right? So take this time to build that foundation for yourself, where you know what moves you. So there's a little bit of figuring out what you need support-wise in your next season. And the only way to understand that is to sit still. And there's going to be some illumination as to, oh, I do want those things. Like, I was like, I want a homestead. That has never come out my mouth before. But every time I sit and I dream about what's next for me, it's like land and this house and a garden and I don't garden. So it's just like, but why does that keep coming up for me? Because that is a soul desire. It may not be a conscious desire, but my soul desire is to be around greenery and all that, but I couldn't hear it until I sat the fuck down. So every day, there's really nothing on the schedule other than what does Ty need. And so maybe for, like I told you, for about 2 weeks, kind of do that. Like, what do I need right now to support myself? How would I support someone else in this situation? Because a lot of times we'll help somebody before we help ourselves. So I'll be like, if Jay was feeling like this, how would I support her? Sometimes it's like I would run her a bath. I would give her something to eat. I would do these things. And it's like, okay, then run yourself a bath. Give yourself something to eat. So I've been nurturing and caring for myself, and I want you to kind of do that while you got support. Because there's here to build that next foundation. But the reason why it doesn't feel solid, or you have all the pieces, but it doesn't feel congealed, is because you're not getting the message that they're trying to give you in this time.
Yeah.
And the message might not be what you expect it to be. Like for me, when I just said give away shit for free, I don't do free shit. I don't do
like get alone for a whole year, right? Like a year's worth of stuff.
It's still and far between that I do, like not of this magnitude where I'm giving a whole course out. Rebel Goddess Society essentially is going to be free. Like, I know you've been through Rebel Goddess Society, so all that free. And I'm just like, it's uncomfortable. Do I know where it's going to lead?
Work you put in.
I have a strategy, no, right? And so you're not going to have a strategy. And so we got to get out of the marketer mind sometimes that we're in, because we be thinking we're fucking up, when in reality is there's just no strategy, right? And we can't strategize our way into a manifestation.
Right.
It's just fucking frustrating. And as a Persephone, I know your goals are like collective goals. Like, when I say collective goals, you want to shift the world, like society. You know what I'm saying? It's not, no, I want to make six figures, and it's not very personal goals. There are very outward goals. And so it's an uphill battle to shift society, because society works on consistently staying the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to get someone to think different than the collective. And so I want you, when you're building this foundation of things, because the root is solid. Like, your root chakra needs no work. It's solid. It's just that now we're building upon the foundation, and you don't know how to navigate it because you don't know what you're building. And so all they're telling you to do is the process. And so you're like, are we building a ranch or a colonial? And they be like, bitch, just get the bricks. And you're just like, but like, is it going to have 2 floors, 3 floors, like a chimney, a backyard? And they're like, can you just order the goddamn bricks? That's all you need to do, right? And so you're in that phase, and it's frustrating because you want the blueprint. You want the outline, because that's how we got to where we are. That's how type A individuals are, those high achieving individuals. We had a game plan, and we attacked that game plan until we got to what we wanted. And so without the game plan, it feels like, what am I attacking?
What am I heard this morning? Because this morning I heard no business. Like, my spirit, my body, like when I look at Red Light Divinity, it's a ministry, and I have been trying to create it as a business and function it that way. And this morning it was no business. Like, I flow sort of what you've been saying, like just one step at a time. So I don't fundamentally at my core need to know, but I've been used to, just even by the nature of my job, everything got a plan. There's a whole step of how you get from, A to Z and everything like that. And it's like, that ain't how your ministry functioning.
Right. What if you were just a platform?
I don't even know what. So for me, it's literally just
sort of like Oprah, right? Sort of like Oprah. You're in the lifestyle of getting people free, liberating them, all that. Create content that's consumable for them, right? Because I think we get in the habit of, again, our marketer mind, because that's what we've been doing for the past 10 years.
Right.
Where we think we got to go customer to customer, client to client. What's stopping you from having a TED Talk? What's stopping you from writing a book? What's stopping you from hosting annual workshops? What's stopping you from, nothing? There's a vast way that you can make money doing what you do that doesn't necessarily have to be client to client sales calls and all that other shit that we don't want to do. Like, let's be honest. You are of me, the type that says you want to get paid to exist, and yet we refuse to just merely exist.
Yeah.
So we cannot get paid to do something that we refuse to do.
Right. Yeah. No, it is I'm going to add something else. It is the putting stuff out there, but then the feedback. So there were a couple of posts I did around Madam's protocol, and it's just some shit that Spirit was like, post this and give it a number. So one of my friends reached out to me, was like, this is a book. I'm like, well, I don't know. I hear you, But right now, I only got 2 posts and ain't nothing else coming through. So I don't know if it's meant to be or not.
What if ain't nothing else coming through because you refuse to look at it as what it is? And so it's just like, if I keep giving it to her, she's going to put it out as a post.
See, and then when I went to the mindset of it's a book, it felt forced because I'm like, okay, well, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, because now I got to finish it.
Right.
Now I got to do all these things. So your root chakra is full of things that you think you need to do to get to where you desire to be. But the crazy thing is you don't know where that is. And so you are making up shit that you think you need in order to get to where you need to go. So you're packing a bag for a destination you don't know where you're going. And so instead of listening to the person who knows where you're going and saying, pack the bathing suit, put some sunscreen, you're just like, what if it snow? I need my wool hat. And they're just like, trust me, baby, you don't need that wool hat. Where we going? They're like, then tell me where we're going. And it's just, can you just trust me? Because once they give you where you're going, you're gonna try to strategize it. You're gonna try to control it. You're gonna try to make it look a certain way. They could say right now that Red Light Divinity is gonna be a foundation that supports, young Black women and growing up and loving themselves and and you will literally just go off to the races. And you'll have a business plan, you'll have the website, you'll have the this, and you'll have the that without even asking your soul, is this what's needed or is it going to be presented?
Yeah. So for me, it's blocking out not my people, but blocking out the other people. Because there's a lot of external in terms of, oh, this is what I see this as, this is how I've used it or whatever. And like you were saying about the soft girl summer, like me taking the time to just go inward and say to my people, okay, what is this? Because I hear everybody else tell me what they see the platform as being, but I have not asked the people who gave it to me.
The platform is you. You are the platform. Like I told you, like 12 years. I could take something I posted 12 years ago and it still fit because the platform has always been me, because it's me who's put here to shift others. I'm not here to follow the trend. I'm not here to figure out what could go most viral. Or I am here to consistently share my message. And that with Soft Girl Summer is getting me out of the numbers, getting me out of the performance of me, getting me out of all that other stuff so I could just authentically show up as me. And of course, that is that root chakra, safety, security, right?
Right.
So I don't think it's a safety, security thing for you because I don't see any fencing or holding you back. It just really is more of an anxiety of showing up without a plan. So they're pushing you out on stage and saying, go ahead, you got this. And you're like, what do I talk about? And they're like, just start talking. And you're like, I can talk about 5 minutes about it. And they just want you to step out and just start talking.
Right.
And if you were in touch and then like tapped in, you're going to get what you're supposed to be talking about. And when that happens, I want you to not analyze it and just talk and put it out. Whatever platform feels good for you to do that in, whether it's spoken, written, whatever, video, It doesn't matter. Just get your thoughts out there. It could be a podcast. And when we say do these things, it doesn't have to look a certain way. Your podcast could be 5 to 10 minutes of this is me tapped in and talking about whatever you're talking about. Right? If that's the way it feels good to you. because there would be no resistance in the lane that feels good to you. So you could get anywhere you want if you are on that vibration of this is just who I am. And so this feels good to me. And so when you're emanating that vibration, it's going to come back. Right. And we have to have enough faith and trust that God wouldn't put us in bullshit situation. And so this ain't our parents, this ain't our friends that we're trusting to hook us up with somebody. You know what I'm saying? This is God. This is universe. This is spirit. This is, not even your ancestors, because you probably wouldn't trust them either, right?
Right.
This is your creator, knowing what they put you here to do. Can we trust them to lead us to it? And that's a hard question, but it's gonna come up for you a lot because it's there. But your sacral looks good. I'm gonna let you know right now, your whole chakra system looks good. So your energy isn't your alignment isn't the issue, right? It's that unwillingness to sit still, because Persephone sits still a lot. Because there's cycles. And so figure out your cycle. You're probably trying to work in a season where you're always at rest. For whatever reason, all my shit start like August, September. I don't really work throughout the summer. August through September is where I do the majority of my work. Mm-hmm. January, February, I do my annuals, but I'm not out here willy-nilly. I'm hibernate.
Right.
So if I schedule something like a live course, I'll be going against my natural desire to hibernate and not people during January and February. So figure out your cycle, because Persephone 100% without a doubt has cycles, because that's what she does. She's the person of rebirth, growth, and then rebirth, growth, rebirth. Like that's what you do. And you are the consistency. You are the seasons that we can rely on, right? And so it's very toilsome to be working to be that vast of a archetype, right? Because in that, nature works the way nature works.
Right.
Nature isn't forcing herself to show up a certain way. And you guys have that natural nature cycle. You are your absolute worst when you're forcing it to look a certain way. It pisses y'all off because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? You have to give in to the natural cycle of things. And that's going to be hard.
No, I'm glad that you said cycles, because I was functioning in individual seasons versus looking at the seasons as a whole.
As a whole. Because there's probably something you did years ago that you're going to pick back up in this season.
Right.
Right? But it needed to be developed then, because now everything you learned up to this point adds to it, elaborates it, all that other stuff. So it had to be there back then. It had to be that starting point, that catalyst of growth of learning. And now you're going to go pick that back up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that
the rest.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes when I'm rested, I'm like, okay, like you were saying, I got shit to do. Or like I feel like I'm missing something, like people are out, and it's like, no, I need to rest because of the next season that's coming up, versus taking it in isolation of and then beating myself down like, okay. And then I just throw it all out the window because I'm like, well, fuck it.
My thing is, and I ask this of myself a lot, and I'm going to ask it of you, do you trust your intuitiveness? Do you trust your gifting? Because I know I sit here and I give a lot of advice and I give a lot of channeled messages, and I trust that when I'm giving it to other people, right? But when I'm hearing, feeling, seeing for myself, it's just like, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Like, there's a lot of second guessing. So it really becomes, do you trust your gift or not? Like, we can't trust it in one instance and not in the other instance. Right? And if you don't trust it in the instance of yourself, what can spirit give you or do that will give you that the ability to trust? How can they give you the recompense for you to just relax? Like, what do you need to relax into the flow?
Yeah. And lately it's been just spending just spending more time with myself and doing my own like prayers and meditation just to feel what's within.
Right.
I'm very great at like avoiding my feelings and I will process myself quickly. Like mentally, I'm like, okay, I'm here. We good. I ain't got time for that. And now it has been more of a process. Yes. And what am I feeling? To allow myself to cry. So the emotional part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been coming a lot up with me. Soft Girl Summer is going to bring out that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because this next season is going to require that of us. The next season is going to require this authenticity. So this is a season of getting to know who you are, like on a real deep level, right? And you're going to be challenged in who you are. And what I mean by that, there's going to be situations that you're going to have to show up in your intuitiveness, in your authenticity, in your moral compass, and everything that you say you stand for. And you're going to have to navigate in it. Because if people could sway you from your foundation, is it really a decent foundation? Right? And so this is a period of getting to know who you are at a very core level, what you desire for yourself. Like, what makes you happy? What fucking makes you sad? What triggers the fuck out of you? Like, without judgment, right? There's no judgment, but like, really is like those sharp edges of ourselves. And so now, if I know that's a problem for me, I cannot even put myself in those situations. Because I know right now I'm not healed enough to navigate it without my triggers. So let me just not put myself in that situation, right? So it's getting to know who you are. Because when these opportunities start popping up, like you said, people will tell you what they think it should be.
And
they're going to have a lot of opinion on who you should be, how you should dress, how you should talk, the content, what it looks like, the framework, the this, the coursework, the that. And so it really becomes, how do I want to show up?
Yeah. No judgment and no justification.
No judgment, no nothing. But because if there is no judgment, why should there be judgment for the way that God made you? Like, God knows my heart, right?
Which is all the shit I would tell them anyway, right?
Don't I know my heart? So why is that judgment that I don't like to share? I'm not sharing a motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Especially not my partner. I don't care how fucking enlightened I am. That is not going to be something that I'm going to sign myself up for, right? And if I let others dictate that for me, they can then make valid points against just how I desire to show up, right? It doesn't make polyamorous right or wrong, right? It's just, that ain't how I want to show up. And that's cool, to each their own. And so you have to figure that out, because when God thrusts you in this season and He pushes you out on stage, you're going to have to show up in that, but you get to dictate what that is about, right? What is that message that if I gave you a TED Talk right now, what is that message that you would want to get out? to the world. Like, I got one shot. People are listening. What do you say? Right? And you don't have to have the answer right now. That can be your meditation, like, thing. Like, if I had that one chance where everybody and their mama is listening, and without the strategy behind it, you just want them to know this piece of information. You don't give a fuck what they do with it. They can hire you, not hire you, then, whatever. Without all of that, what is the information you would want to present? Then that is what you do. That is your platform. And I'm sure once you could figure that out, you like the content pillars up underneath of that kind of just does itself. And then once you build the content pillars, now you got the book, right? Because underneath the content pillars, all you got to do is put chapters up underneath of those, and you'll take them on the journey. But I think we overcomplicate things because it comes so natural to us that we want to make it complicated because that's the belief that it's of importance, right? I toiled over this. I worked hard for this. But just because it came to you easily doesn't mean that it's not good work.
Yeah. And there's also the thing I teach, like life for me is not about being hard. Like it can be that easy. And because the external, society and everybody says it has to be hard, in my mind, I got to make it hard because the people say it's hard versus.
Right. But so you know what? It is hard when you're not working in your gifting.
Right.
And they're right. It is very hard when you're not working in your gifting. But when you're working in your gifting, you're literally made for it. So it's not hard. When your natural inclination is to analyze and second guess, does being an analyst seem hard? No. I do this every day, all day. When, I love putting the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what I do, right? So, of course, no, I wouldn't think it was hard.
Yeah, but to someone else.
But to someone else, it would be, right? So, when they say it is hard, capitalism is hard. Right? And so when they say it's hard, that's what they mean, because there are people intent on stopping you from navigating the way that you want to navigate. Right? When you go look for a job, that person is there specifically to either grant access or deny access. Right? So yes, that is hard. You're getting spruced up and you're working in your thing and you're thinking you're the best, and you come in there like, I just don't like the way you look. And you're gone, right? Yeah. And so, yes, that is hard. You're doing an uphill battle. But when you find your grooves, when you find how you show up, when you find what you're good at, the doors just open. And they're looking around like, is it, maybe I'm doing it wrong because everybody else is struggling in it, right? But when you are a leader, it may look like you're going against everybody else. And we try so hard to fit in because we want the virality. We want the numbers. We want people to find us. We want this. We want that. And I get it, especially if it's a business, right? But we can't build our business that way, being a soul-led business, because we lose ourselves in the strategies and the techniques and the marketing and the this. And then it could be real successful, but then it'll be the same situation that working for somebody else would be. You done built a system that you don't even want to work. Right. So then, like, what's the point? What's the point of having it be successful and still be miserable when the first initial goal was happiness? Right? It doesn't make sense to undermine ourselves like that. I'm looking at sacral. Sacral looks good. Solar plexus is good. Heart chakra is good. Every throat chakra, a little work, but that's not because you just want to use the right word. So I am gonna kind of give you the words, sort of like the voice box, right? So I feel like there's an opening that I'm gonna do up here.
Okay.
But okay, so if it gets too overwhelming for you, in the next week or two, cover your head. That's all you need to do, right?
It's not they had me doing that this weekend. That's why I'm laughing. Like, oh, we just gonna keep this up? Okay.
So see, this is the thing. Our soul already knows what to do. We just gotta trust it.
And because I didn't know why, like I did it, I felt the energy. So I was like, Sunday, okay. So carry on. I'm gonna just.
And this is what I was saying. We are super tapped in, and all we got to do is listen and trust, right? I have a friend that's gone vegan. Never thought she would be vegan a day in her life, but then Spirit was like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And now it's like second nature. She's like, I don't understand. Okay. Hold on 1 second.
You're right.
Okay. Sorry. My apologies. I'm gonna have to cut that out. But because Dal kept Janae longer because he forgot that it wasn't Monday. So he's like, I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes unless, she wanna stay because she just got home this morning. I was like, Doc, she could stay. Wait, if I go up there right now and tell her to put clothes on and leave, she won't have her motherfucking thing. Because she gonna be like, I could have just stayed where I was at this morning. So I'm like, nah, she good. But I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait because he would have pulled up.
Right.
Right. And so, let's see. But yeah, everything was good. You want to have the right words to say. So that's going to be there. Cover the head. Oh yeah, this is where we were. Our body knows what it's doing. We're at a level of our spirituality where we know what the fuck we're doing, right? We just have to trust it for ourselves. Trust that we're doing the right thing, even if it doesn't look right on the surface. Because right now, going with the way everybody is going, what's the point of being tapped in? Because being tapped in is to alert you, hey, this might be coming up. Shift. Right?
Right.
And sometimes they're not going to tell you why. Why would I tell you there's going to be this virus that's going to shut the world down in 8 months? Why would I tell you that? I'm just going to tell you to go buy more toilet paper, to pick up some fish, to do all those things and prepare you for it so that when it hits, you're prepared. Why would I leave you in turmoil for 8 months and you still don't have everything else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes what they're prepping you for is just big. And they don't want you, scared. They don't want you to overanalyze. They don't want you stressed out. They want you happy. But we got to be happy in the existence without the details. And this fly has been chilling with me for days. Well, actually, since last week, if you watched last week's podcast, we got another fly. Coming from. So yeah, you got this. Let's see, karmically. Karmically, there's nothing, but I will say, I see an image of a temple, you standing at the temple doors in front of the temple, talking to people about what the temple does and is, but refusing to let them in because it's not right. I'm not finished. The inside isn't finished, but it feels like you're telling them like what's coming, and I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be great, and we're gonna have all this shit. And it feels like they're like, okay, like, do we go in? Just like, yeah, nah, not yet. Right? I gotta do this. I gotta fluff the pillows, and I gotta, do all this. But when I do look inside, it looks ready. But sometimes you're not going to know what to add until you're in the process of serving. So we have to start serving. However that is. That might be in your role that you just spoke to me about, right? It might be that role that then it's just like, I got to add this to the roster, or I want to do this. I want to do that. Never know where it may go, but we got to start to see. Because if we never jump into the flow of it, we're always looking at the river saying, I wonder where this goes. It's just like, jump in, see where it goes. You're like, yeah. It might be going over. What? Right. It might be going over a cliff. It might be this, right? And so figure out where your anxiety lies and what you're creating. Okay. Figure out where you don't feel solid in what you're creating. And then ask yourself why. And then fix whatever the fuck comes up. And you just keep asking yourself why. So it might start out with, I need people to buy this and do this. And then you go, why? Then you go, why? Then you go, why? And then you go, why? Till you get to the real fucking reason of being invalidated all my life. And so I just want to feel validated by people using my intellectual property. And then be like, was that so hard? Right? Because once we can admit that to ourselves, we can release it, right? Because if that's what's stopping us from expanding, then we can release that need for that validation. Because what's going to happen is, even if you were to blow up, the moment you get a couple people saying the same fucking thing, well, I don't like the way this shows up, you're going to change it.
Right. And that's the whole thing. Yeah.
Right? And so that's why I say you got to know who you are. Because just because they find fault in it doesn't mean it's wrong. It is same for them.
For them. Right.
It's cool. And that's, everybody will have their person. Everybody will have their leader.
That's what I tell my daughter, huh?
Everybody will have their person, and it's okay that it ain't you. It doesn't make you wrong, but you have to believe that,
right?
Because they're gonna tell you wrong. They gonna tell you wrong, so you're just gonna have to believe that it ain't truth. Does that make sense?
It does. It does, and just accept that. Yeah, it is the I'm not for you, and that's okay.
But it's okay.
And that's okay.
But also ask yourself, why are you scared about not being for some people?
Oh, that's childhood stuff. That is all childhood in terms of it's the being there for everyone else and doing everything. So like I shared, like I have a multitude of gifts. So it almost becomes an expectation. Oh, well, Holly can do this or she can, and because I am a leader in that way, or even in the space of serving, I end up doing it. Versus, like I said, sometimes it's like, I don't feel like doing this shit, instead of me saying, not today. Now I've gotten better, but now I'm here at this space of my nose, I'll say a bigger nose. That's how it feels. Although spirit is like, no, it's still just a no. But
Right.
it feels different. And it's like, no, it's just not in alignment. Just say, and they'll be okay. And if not, they'll be okay.
And they will. And they will. So this is going to be juicy. The after talk is going to be juicy because you just hit on something that was juicy. So if you want to be a part of that that conversation, join us over on patreon.com, Let's Get Blunt Podcast, patreon.com/Let's Get Blunt Podcast, where we offer extended conversations. We offer monthly energetic readings and movement sessions. Manifestation 101 will be free on there as well. You get full access to support in that as well over on that platform. And it is my pleasure. Thank you for being with me. 19 weeks and counting. So almost 5 months already from an idea that spirit has given me. I don't know why I'm getting emotional because it didn't start out that way. So they must got something planned coming up. Y'all not gonna see me cry on here. That's not gonna happen. So with that,